Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. And we're back.
Welcome back, you beautiful creatures.
I'm like unmuting. Achoo.
Yeah,
Achoo.
it wasn't gonna stop. I couldn't help it. I'm so sorry, everybody. These little baby hairs on my forehead. I think we're done. I think we're good. Oh, I don't have my regular purse with me. I usually have hand sanitizer. Brought my big bitch bag.
Knocking it out over there.
All my stuff.
Oh, wait. There's no point in doing that. It's already on the screen.
In case anybody wanted to see what fell. I have women's groups. And I have spots available. Come on. Do the thing. There we go. If you're interested in being a part of my women's group, I have spots available. I believe I have 2 in my top tier women's group. And I have about 15 spots available in my Women's Thrive group. The private women's group is a smaller number of women, more intimate. Women's Thrive group is a much larger community. Both groups get very dope things. Check it out if you want to know what's going on.
Lonnie said, "How do you sneeze so feminine? Sounds like I sound like a dying horse."
I don't know. Sneezing sucks.
I don't have anything to talk about today. That's a lie. I have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. But I have other I have articles saved for when we go live for Patreon after this. So I don't want to I don't know if I want to get into my topics that I have saved or if we should just Q&A.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we should just sit here and bullshit for a second.
Okay.
And then Q&A.
Dig that shit out of your nose?
No, my nose is just runny. And I have to clean around my philtrum.
Because otherwise snot will stick to it?
Yeah.
That's gross. I kissed that face. Good thing you clean around it.
Take it back.
Why?
You said gross. I kissed that face like it's a negative thing.
No, because there's snot on your philtrum.
There's not. I clean it.
No, and I said thank you for that.
My goodness.
It says emotional support husband. Do not talk to or touch him. This is available on tobebetter.com.
It is.
Is the pollen there crazy too? Yeah, pollen's a fucking mess.
It's about to get worse.
It is. Brianna said they just celebrated their 2-year wedding anniversary yesterday. Congrats.
Love that.
We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So we're just going to bullshit for a little while today. Abby said I stole Tom's emotional support husband shirt as my workout shirt this weekend. And because I'm going to miss him while I'm at my parents' house. Love that.
I love that.
Emily said my husband, I got my husband that shirt. He loves it. Shelly said I love you guys. Anybody got questions? What are we doing today? Alana said my loan from Hurricane Ian will be completely paid off the first week of May, and I'm hoping to join the women's group as a gift to myself. I fucking love that. My buddy Sean, what are you doing?
I'm trying to give a hand heart, but I'm recognizing I don't know how to use my hands. Very lopsided. Your buddy Sean?
Yeah. Not my best friend Sean, but a friend of mine, Sean. His house was destroyed from Hurricane Ian, but he's a carpenter. So he fixed all of it. He did all of his house by himself the last 4 years. And his house is now completely done. And all the money that he got from Hurricane Ian, he used to pay his house off.
That's dope.
And then he bought a brand new truck yesterday. That's the one I've been talking to because he's building an overland rig. So he's like, we can go overlanding and shit. And I'm like, yeah, dude, love that. He just messaged me while I was in the bathroom and asked me if I could give him Charles information so that Charles can build his truck for him.
Yeah. It'd be dope to have a little group to go out and go overlanding with.
It would be.
It would alleviate some of my anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you got me, right? We've done the thing.
I've proven it.
Like, right. My truck was taking on water and you rescued me. You literally saved my car.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel numbers are safety. I'm not a man, but if we had another man available, that's 2 times the man. And I really won't have to break any nails.
That's funny. That's so funny.
Why is that funny?
It just is. This 2 times the man.
I'm dainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had fun climbing in the mud
Oh, I
and doing all
did.
that shit, though.
I had a lot of fun, but like I was also wearing my ankle brace and hot pink leggings.
Yeah, on your hot pink Jeep.
Yeah.
Chris about to start the overlanding group called the Overlords.
I love that.
Clint said he loved my book. I'm glad you loved my book, man. Thank you for buying it.
That's awesome.
I hope that it changed your thought perspective a little bit on something, at least something. I'm not going to try to say your name because I'm going to botcher it. But you wrote, I am going through a divorce. Won't get into details out of respect for your platform. What advice other than therapy, which I'm in, can you suggest to heal during the time when loneliness is a struggle?
Hobbies.
Yeah.
Get some hobbies. Do things that fill up your own cup and meditate. Learn to sit in that silence and be by yourself and enjoy you.
One of the things that you learn about going through a divorce is how much of you give up to placate another human being's existence. There is such a strength in being able to go, I am totally good being alone. Because then when you find somebody else, you're not going to give up those things because you're enjoying them. And when you've been with somebody for a long time, you have to learn you again.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to love you again. And you need to do those things so that in the event that you meet somebody else, you're healed. So Zach said, my soul wants to be one with Mother Earth. My autism wants to be squeaky clean. I get that.
I feel that. I love earthing. I love grounding. I love walking around barefoot in the dirt. One of my favorite things. But I will also stop every 5 paces and like rub my foot on my calf muscle
Get all the dirt off
to get the dirt off of it, and then I'll keep going. Yep.
That's so funny.
Hello from snowy Michigan. My goodness, it's 90 degrees outside right now in Florida.
Yep. It snowed a lot yesterday.
Yeah. Hope you guys are doing okay.
Devin said, longtime watcher, started watching at like episode 23-ish. Just wanted to say y'all are the best and have helped me so much. I'm glad that you found value.
Thank you.
Haley said, left my son's dad after years of abuse, and you guys have helped me through understanding what a healthy relationship should be over these 2 years. I just want to say thank you. You're welcome.
Good for you.
Yes, grounding. People think I'm nuts with no shoes. Snowy in Nevada.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, I ain't doing that shit in the snow.
Oh, I'll walk around barefoot in the snow.
Fuck that.
Not for like 5 minutes, but I'll stand there and be like, oh, wow, this is nice. And then I'll go back inside and sit in front of the fireplace with my nice socks on.
Warming them feet up.
Yeah. I think people who would rather have shoes on and be confined to the synthetic things that we create are the weird ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather Brewer said, I physically cannot walk outside without shoes on. I also wear house shoes within the house. My raw feet touching the ground grosses me out so bad. That was me before my ayahuasca retreat.
Literally 2 hours before the medicine hit you, you're like, I can't do this. I need to leave my shoes on.
Yeah.
He was thick into the medicine. And he was like, can you take my shoes off for me? And of course I did it with glee.
And it made me cry.
Yeah. But then he was just walking around. I was like, oh my God, my husband's transformed. Where did the autism go?
Yep, it damn sure did. Took that right out of me. I have no problem with it now.
Yeah.
I do still have to wipe my feet off. Like if
Yeah.
I'm aware that there's dirt on my feet, my brain's like, hey, there's dirt on your feet. I'm like, get it off.
Yeah.
Lemon said, hey, you, greeting joyfully.
Oh, I
Probably
think
meant to
it's
say,
an
hey,
emoji.
you. Yeah, they're emojis.
Gotcha.
Thanks for the super chat. Super chats on YouTube are guaranteed to get read, guys. Colleen said, after listening to your podcast, I've come into my submissive feminine role that I didn't know I had. I hope that you're thriving in it and you're happy.
Yeah.
Abby, barefoot, question mark. Raw feet. Hi from Germany. You two have helped my partner and I become the best version of ourselves. Through you, I learned to finally live, then just exist. I love that too. I love that too.
Every molecule in my body just wanted to go Guten Tag, but I don't know if that's proper.
Should have ran with it. It's the worst is going to happen. Oh man.
They tell me I'm wrong and then my pride's hurt.
Yeah, it was a joke. It's for fun. Guys, we have couples retreats coming up. We have one in June and one in August. One will be in Florida, one will be in North Carolina. You guys can find information on that about tobebetter.com if you would like to look that up.
Yep.
Costa Rica, the first trip, we sold all but one slot after we had those 3 cancellations. We got 2 last minute bookings, and then the second trip has got a bunch of slots left, and the last day to book on that is the 6th of this month. I am so fucking ready for Costa Rica.
I can't wait.
Have you thought about our year?
What do you mean about our year?
We have an ayahuasca retreat at the end of the month.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
We have 2 weeks in Costa Rica next month.
Oh my gosh.
We have a couples retreat in June.
Yeah.
4th of July.
August, we're going to have another
August, we'll have another couples retreat. We might possibly, if I can figure out how to make it work, go to Brazil in September. October, Halloween.
Yeah.
November, moderator retreat for Discord. Christmas.
And Thanksgiving. My goodness. I love gorging myself on food. We have a pretty busy year.
I'm fucking stoked. This is the way I want to live my life.
Yeah.
Work really hard to really play.
I can't wait until the kids are old enough to participate in these.
They get old enough. When they are old enough or they are homeschooled and we are able to leave with them for long durations, I will buy a Class C RV and we will fucking hit the road.
My goodness.
I'll wrap that bitch in To Be Better everything and write it all off on our taxes. Homeschool them during the day and then meet and greet every time we stop somewhere.
Yep. I want them. I have visions of them being, 15, 16, 17 years old, and they're an active participant in this to help teenagers.
That would be wild.
Like they're able to reach a class that we can't reach in humanity because they can relate to on a different level.
Could you imagine us passing this off to our kids?
Oh my God.
Right?
I can.
Or having them start their own teen helpline thing. That's wild. Wild. I never even considered that.
I really believe that can be a thing. They both have it in them. I was sitting on the couch the other day. I hate fluorescent lights. I hate artificial. Artificial everything. I despise it. And we have such yellow lights in our living room. And our living room is domed. So it goes up and then it reflects down. And it's just so harsh sometimes. And I butterflied. So I had, on my eyeballs. Or you could think of that one guy, the horror story. He has eyeballs on his hands. Mm-hmm. I was doing that inverted. And I was just sitting on the couch trying not to have a meltdown over the lights in the household. And our daughter's like, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just really bright in here right now, so I'm butterflying my eyeballs." And she was like, "Okay." And she just started rubbing my shoulder for me. And I was like, "Oh, child, you're so sweet. Thank you so much."
That's funny. I think a little man will be very good at this because of his compassion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that he is going to be a different kind of warrior.
Yeah. Jordan said, would you guys ever do a retreat in Canada? Would you be willing to come if all was figured out for you guys beforehand? I want to go to Banff National Park. And I know that that's not where most of Canada lives. From my understanding, most of Canada.
Okay.
So but again, I live at the dick of the United States.
We do.
We're the dangly part. So
we really are.
You guys are way the fuck up there. I don't have a reason to know your geography, but I do know Banff is up there near Montana, and it's gorgeous, and I would like to see Banff. But that's as far as my interest in Canada would be.
I would like to see Niagara Falls.
Yeah, you can do that from New York.
I want to do it on the Canada side.
Why?
Because it's a different country, and I can say I've been to Canada.
Well, we can say it when we go to Banff.
Okay.
There's actually 3 waterfalls.
Yeah.
For
Niagara.
Yeah.
I want to collect the water and put it in a jar. The way I collect sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which reminds me, shout out to Lorna. I still have your water bottle that you gifted me that I brought sand home in from Thailand. I'm taking it to Costa Rica.
Are you?
I am, and I'm going to fill it up with sand from Costa Rica and knickknacks and things. That is now my travel sand container.
She said she's going to try to come to the mod retreat.
I would love
her partner.
that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
We have to rent that house still. Heather Brewer said, sending just to say 31 days until I become Mrs. Stefano Fiacci. I can't wait to be his wife. Thank y'all for the tools to properly love my man.
I'm just saying, with a name like that, you better nail some Italian dishes.
Right? Yeah, you can't fuck that up.
Right. So
Although I don't think he's Italian.
No?
Mm-mm.
With a last name like that?
I might be wrong.
We about to find out.
Are you texting her?
No.
Oh.
Well, his last name is also a pasta.
Oh.
So that gives me every indicator that I need.
Barry said that Canada's side of the Niagara Falls is nicer.
Okay.
Iggy said that Chris went to New York side of Niagara Falls and lines were so crazy long.
Really?
Albanian. Heather said he's Italian.
Nailed it.
All right. I want to go to the Four Corners Monument so that I can be in 4 states at once.
I am never wrong. The person from Germany is also Greek. I'm actually Greek. I nailed that Guten Tag. Thank you.
That's funny.
By the way, today's my birthday. Happy birthday. Your name is familiar. I feel like we've talked to you before, Demetria. That is a very Greek name. That is gorgeous. I love Greek food. We need to travel the world, babe.
Well, I'm working on it. I can only do so much. Trying. I would really like to be able to pull off Brazil in September, and if not, then we'll have to. If we can't do Brazil in September, I would like to do the Redwood Forest on the other coast because it's our birthday month.
Oh, I would love that. Are you kidding me?
I talked to Jay a little bit to try to figure out where we should stay, and he gave me a couple places, and I looked at a few Airbnbs, but like there was nothing that screamed, "Oh my God, this is incredible."
We need to sleep in the van.
Well, we'd have to. So then we're going to need a whole lot more than a drive, like a whole lot more than a week, because it's going to take us a week to get there.
Yeah, that's not going to work out because it's September.
Even with the bed in the back, if we put a ratchet strap on the back of the van so that we could buckle ourselves in,
yeah.
One of us could sleep while the other drove. We still would take at least 3 or 4 days to get over there.
Yeah.
So, could you imagine laying down and be like,
I could.
I'm safe.
I could.
Hope to God I don't have to pee because it's gonna be really hard to get out of. That's funny. Cassidy said I turned 30 today. Happy birthday. A lot of birthdays today. Hey from Australia. That's on our list too. Danielle said, my husband recently relapsed and we are both recovering meth addicts.
Jeez.
I'm trying to be a supportive wife through this trial that he is living or having, but I don't know how to be content and not start to resent him because I feel betrayed that he started using again when we are finally where we have always dreamt of being in life. I also want to slip in my recovery knowing that he's using. What can I do? I honestly would prioritize your sobriety over your marriage at this point. He made a choice to go back to using, and your sobriety and your health matters more than that. I would probably take some time away.
That's rough.
Chris Bree said, you guys motivate me to be a better human being, and I appreciate every bit of advice I receive from you guys. I love that.
I love that too. Thank you for actually listening. My food is on the way.
Linda said, hello, Linda. You saw that we're live and can't watch now, but you wanted to say hello, so hello.
Hello, Linda. Linda, listen. Linda, listen, honey. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. The internet is still kind of a great place, but it used to be a really amazing place.
Bree Ball said, to be better Greece retreat in 2026 or 2027, we will make that happen. We actually looked at Greece as one of the places that we were going to go.
Yeah.
There was a couple of places that were really, really nice, like resort kind of things. What are you doing?
Well, the prescription is ready for our child, and I'm waiting for confirmation from the other parental unit that they know it's ready.
Gotcha. Demi said, Chris, I remember you saying something about playing MTG. Do you collect cards or just play Arena? Peaches, do you also play? My husband and I play together. We both play Arena. She doesn't play as much as I do. I play a lot.
I don't like screens and technology as much as my husband does.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you. And I don't collect cardboard. I had a very expensive Magic collection at one point, and when I sold my comic book store and got rid of it, I got rid of all of that shit. So, Forever Anonymous, I know you have briefly talked about people who read smut. Can you elaborate on why? We've actually talked about it at length.
Because smut is akin to corn, And if you are against a man watching pornography and view that as cheating, I view smut just as worse because you're actually forming emotional relationship ties to the characters within the book.
What she said. Can I email y'all for personal advice? Yes, you can. You send the email to tobebetterco@gmail.com. Jessica said, New Zealand, I fucking wish. We looked. We looked to go to New Zealand. You want to talk about an expensive ass flight? It is not cheap to go to New Zealand.
No.
And it is a long, long flight. Like I thought going to Thailand was long. I think it takes longer to get to New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah. Dimitri said, I'd love a Greece trip. Brooke said, smut is overrated. I'm so sick of how much smut can be in a book that the smut is the storyline. We actually have gotten very hard when it comes to like what it's very hard. It's become very hard for us to watch TV because all of the TV shows have so much shit thrown into it that has nothing to do with the storyline that we're not watching the shit. You know, we end up fast forwarding through a lot of the TV show.
We do. We fast forwarded through almost 20 minutes the other night of 1923.
Yeah.
There's this weird old man who's kidnapped a prostitute who's now like some weird Stockholm chick, and they're just torturing women together sexually.
Yeah.
And there is really no reason for that to be a part of the plot line.
Nope.
It adds absolutely nothing to the story.
Right. Well, they did it once to show you how fucked up the dude is.
Yeah.
And that could have been enough.
Yeah.
But it's an ongoing thing, and they're making it a whole storyline inside of the show. I don't like the shit.
Yeah.
Maggie for $2 said advice on daily practices or 4 daily practices on emotional regulation. Journaling, meditating,
belly breathing.
Yeah, breathing techniques are huge.
Grounding techniques like what can you see? What do you hear? What can you feel?
Yeah.
Things that bring you to the present moment and take you out of your mind.
Yeah. For me, the biggest one is intentional breathing. 2 deep breaths in, through your nose and out through your mouth.
Oh, I just sucked in boogies. God, I love breathing. We should do that tonight.
Lindsay said that dude 1923 hurts me to watch. I skip over it. We skip over all that shit.
Yeah.
Jay Bentley said, I encourage anyone going on the trips to look into a credit card that offers flight miles. Delta Amex, for example. Sign-on bonuses can get you 90,000 miles to save on flight deals with everyday purchases. He sounds like a fucking credit card ad. But he's not wrong because we have a Citibank card for American Airlines. I have an American Express that does all of that shit. I have a MasterCard Black Card plus my Platinum American Express that does all that shit. So... maybe there's a different kind of smut, but I read one series and the 400 pages per book, maybe 8 were sexual. But why do you need that? Why do you need to know the sexual aspect of the character? That is the author writing to write erotica, to sell it in a small scale. They're doing it for them. Mm-hmm. And because they know the readers are going to get invested in how the main character of the book makes love. You don't need to... you could be like, oh, Richard, and turn the light off, and that's the end of the fucking sex scene. Right. Next chapter starts. You don't need details on the fucking. 8 pages of that is wasted now. That could have been 8 pages of story that actually fucking matters to your storyline.
I think I'm gonna... so I have mini challenges. I'm just adding more and more to my women's groups. So we have my top tier women's group gets the 4 weekly challenges. The Women's Thrive group gets like the in-depth monthly challenge. And now I've created mini challenges for the ladies who want to take on a little bit more. And I think I'm going to add breathing exercises to April. I posted that YouTube video that I sent you this morning. I posted that in my women's groups too.
Nice.
And I challenged them to listen to it and journal everything that bubbled up inside of them and really process what they were hearing.
I don't know, say that. Good. No. I love that. I don't know.
I'm just thinking out loud, I guess.
You stopped talking and I was like, she expected me to say something profound. I don't have anything. Alexa said, just tuned in. Have y'all talked any more about the end of the year trip? So we were going to try to do another trip through Trova Trip for the end of the year, but I think we're going to push it into 2026.
I agree with
and
that.
do one big one big international trip a year instead of trying to do multiple, because there's people who have come to the previous trips that want to go on other ones. And if we continue to do them back to back like that, they're not going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
So I think that we should plan to do a big trip every May.
I think that's a really good idea.
Because May is a good time of the year where like you can travel most of the world.
It's not hurricane season.
Right. You don't want to travel during hurricane season. So
never again.
If we can plan a May or even June trip every year, that puts us right around summer vacation. Like, could probably make that happen a lot easier for people.
Yep.
Peaches, what is your other channel?
I have the Good Wives with Buff Bell.
That's it.
I'm using Aquaphor for my tattoo. Today I used non-scented Gold Bond Healing Hydrating Lotion because we forgot to moisturize before we left the house.
Tiana said, you're both a wealth of knowledge. Any recommendations of podcasts for end-of-life treatment and child loss with navigating support for each other? I got to be honest, I don't listen to podcasts.
I don't either. I don't either. I lean really heavily on books and literature. Podcasts don't really do it for me.
No. So I actually enjoy podcasts. The problem is I have so little time to engage that I have a choice to make. I either finish the book I'm listening to or I listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
And the only time I ever tune in to any of the podcasts that I'm subscribed to is if I'm not in my audiobooks.
Yeah.
But
oh God, I love coconut oil. Zach said, I prefer Aqua 5. Shut up. That's funny.
Callista Spooner said, my brain constantly reminds me how much you have helped me, and I appreciate you guys so much.
We appreciate you.
$2 super chat from Lemon said, just wanted to say thank you for everything you do.
You're welcome. Our daughter, she's very obsessed with my new tattoo. She loves how she looks so far, and it's literally just a face on my back.
Yeah.
And she was like, can I see your tattoo this morning while she was using the bathroom? And I hiked my shirt up and I showed it to her, and she was like, Mommy, is it supposed to look like you? And I was like, it wasn't supposed to look like me, but it's a happy coincidence. And she was like, what's a coincidence? And I was like, it's not on purpose, but it's pretty neat that it worked out.
Peaches, you look like you should be in the middle of a forest glen reaching out to a unicorn. I love it.
Oh my gosh, stop
That's so funny. Iggy said John Deloney has a podcast where he's talked about both quite a few times. John Deloney's a wealth of information. I
do listen to his podcast.
I listen to his clips.
Yeah.
And when I have time, I listen to his podcast. I listen to a podcast that what do they call them? Vidcast, video on demand, VODs.
I have no idea what you're talking
VODs.
about.
They're called VODs. That's what they're calling podcasts that do videos. Like we do VODs with a podcast extra.
Oh, that's
because
crazy.
we record everything for YouTube. It gets posted everywhere.
Okay.
I watch some of those, but it's normally like when you're going to pick the kids up and I'm playing cards or, but that's just downtime in the house.
I watch the things that pique my interest. Like my husband of 20 years is leaving me and I don't have a retirement plan. And I'm like, oh, okay. That could be useful information. What does he have to say about this? Or he discussed some pretty heavy topics like my husband's brother is a child predator. What do we do? Yeah, like he gets into some pretty serious topics. I would highly recommend his podcast. Whoever brought that up, good call.
Hello from Washington State. You guys are awesome. Love and light from California. Do you ever want to go to Burning Man? Are we going to do that?
Yes. I don't know. I love the thought of Burning Man. I love what Burning Man was in like the 70s. But thinking of being in a group of people who are on a bunch of drugs and I don't know, what if I get separated from you? And
it was no different in the 70s.
Right, but I feel like, I don't know. People are very aggressive now. I mean, people have always been aggressive, but I feel like aggression is becoming more prevalent in society, and God forbid we get separated and then you hear me screaming for you in a crowd of people.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to do some research because I can't remember ever hearing anything about Burning Man having major issues like that. I remember there being a bunch of mud shit happening, but
yeah.
I think it would be really cool to do because, you know, they have that big bonfire and people burn their art and their intentions. And like, there's a whole lot that goes into that. I think it would be really cool to be able to have an experience like that where there's a bunch of people fucking going through some plant medicine in the middle of the desert, just doing their thing.
I think that would be pretty dope.
Yeah. I would rather do it in the woods than in the, you know, the desert, but that's just me.
I would need something that says, please ask permission for a hug.
Don't fucking touch me on a t-shirt.
I feel like that'd be a bunch of people tripping balls in the desert. Love is going to be prevalent. And we were in Vegas, my first time in Vegas. We woke up the first morning. It was like 6 a.m. We were getting ready to go to the desert to do photos. And a drunk woman got on the elevator and I thought she was going to touch me. Yeah. You remember that?
I do.
She was just doting all, you're so beautiful. Look at your hair. Your outfit's amazing. And she just kept getting closer and closer and closer. And I was like...
A lot of people were saying not to do Burning Man. Saying that it's changed. Stephanie said that it's turned into a desolate for rich folk.
Oh, that sucks. I'm going to go get my food. I'm going to be right back.
Okay. I've also heard that about Burning Man. I want to go. That's crazy. I don't know. We found a couple places. There's places in the United States where psilocybin is deregulated, decriminalized. So we could go and fucking do that kind of thing. But there's also retreats in like Jamaica and shit that we've looked into. We want to be able to go and experience that big event. I want to experience the burn shit, like a giant bonfire where you can throw your paintings in and maybe do like a painting of my trauma. Your cup has a smiley face on it.
Does it?
The ice. Right there. It's right at me. Move your finger. Lower it down. Lower the cup down.
My cup?
Move your finger.
Oh, I see it. I love that.
That's going to be a great drink. It's going to fill you with joy, babe.
Yes, it should.
Hello from northern Wisconsin. We are cured in snow and ice storm. Just want to say hi. I love your podcast. Thank you for your vulnerability in educating society. So much value and can't wait to see what's next for you both. Thank you for that.
Do you guys want to see my pants? I see people commenting on my outfit. So my shirt, I love this shirt. I love the black trim on it. Look at my pants. It's a whole wispy fabric thing. This is my husband's favorite pair. No comment on the pants?
I've commented a lot on the pants. I have commented a lot on your pants. Check out Love Burn in Florida. It's a smaller yearly regional Burning Man event.
I feel like we could host our own Burning Man.
I think so too. What was that called? Love Burn.
Is that you burping or me?
It was you. Rachel became a member for 8 months. Just popping in to say hi and I love you guys. I look forward to Wednesday live. It gets me through the week without fail. Thank you for all you do. Also, Peach, you look absolutely stunning today. I love the look. Bless you both. Thank you. So on that tier that you got with the Discord community, make sure that you get into the ball pit because that's where we post our Patreon lives when we go live. And we'll be doing 2 more live streams today after this public live. All right, here's a long one. Jen said, my sister and I are obsessed with the healthy advice you give for relationships. We both have a lot of childhood trauma, past relationships, and it's a daily struggle to stay positive, especially because I know I am currently in an unhealthy relationship and I often find myself feeling numb. So I'm continuing to try to challenge my partner to grow in a healthier way, but he drinks too much. Drinks so much that it is hard to know if he is ever going to remember the conversation, and he has issues with keeping his word. I try to be understanding because of his past trauma, but he fights with me instead of most of the time healing. And it's just so frustrating. P.S. I love similar pants peaches, and my man loves them too. If you're having conversations with your man while he's drinking, there's a strong possibility he's not going to remember it. You guys need to learn that you can't change your person. Andrea said, is this on YouTube as well? It is. We are live on YouTube. If you guys want to make sure that your comments are read, send super chats on YouTube. You can't change somebody. You guys are falling in love and staying with people for the potential that you see them in them, and you're not falling in love with who they are. Who they are is enough to get you attracted, and you have all this great hope and expectation of what this man or woman is going to do, and then when they don't do it, is that hot?
Yeah, I burned my tongue. I'm gonna sit back from that for a second.
Probably a good idea. Then you guys find yourself in shitty situations, and it's not, you know what I mean? It's not healthy. And if you're in a situation or a relationship where somebody's being abusive and you're unhappy and you're just in a relationship and you're not married, find somebody who's going to treat you better.
Yep.
Find somebody that is a lot more compatible with the goals and the values that you hold in yourself.
You're so hot when you say intelligent things, babe.
Yeah.
Emotionally intelligent things. Yeah.
Kai Ann Tomlin said, where do I go for the other lives? You have to be a member of our Discord community, and you can only get that access through Patreon or becoming a top tier member here on YouTube. Can't fall in love with potential. Nope, you should not.
We just did a whole episode about that.
Yep. Demetria said, if you're considering a Greece trip, I could help with that. Not only with the language, but also with the location. I would recommend smaller islands like Kefalonia or Zakynthos. I don't know. It's all through Trova Trip. So if that's what we do, it would be booked through Trova Trip.
God, I would love to go to Greece. I don't know what vegetable this is. Do you think you can tell what that is?
It looks like a potato.
Yeah? Let's find out.
Cheyenne said, I stopped watching you for a while and finally got back on a regular schedule. I was missing something and felt off in that time. You two were the guidance I needed again. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming back.
Pineapple.
Yeah?
Just a pineapple.
Lorna said she thought it was a potato too.
I'm slightly disappointed that it's not.
I'm slightly disappointed that Lorna's not going to Costa Rica.
Ooh, lay on the guilt. Thick.
Yeah.
Stuff is so hot, it's hurting my teeth. My teeth are so sensitive.
You know that since I stopped using that toothpaste, my sensitivity's gone.
Really?
Yep. Peach doing the vanilla ice cream tasting method. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Amy Jane said, love you guys. I'm also from Wisconsin. I moved to California a few years ago, started dating a guy about 10 months ago. This guy is so mean. My question is, what would be the red flags to look out for in the beginning? How do you fall in love with the person when they are being fake? So did you move from Wisconsin to California to be with a guy, or did you move and then met a guy? How long did you know them before you started dating? How long did you wait before you got serious in the relationship? Like, you guys got to slow down. People are so fucking in a hurry to be committed to somebody that they tend to overlook so much shit. Don't sleep with people right away. That's another one too.
Yes.
When you guys start fucking somebody, the
rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, they stay
Turn
on
red hot.
Yeah, because you are now emotionally invested sexually. It changes everything. You know how many people I've talked to who are like, man, the sex is amazing, but the relationship sucks.
She's crazy.
Yeah. No way. What are good coping mechanisms or way to handle situations that bring back past trauma from an ex? My ex-husband was a narcissist. Was he actually a narcissist, like diagnosed, or are you just calling him that? He was mentally and physically abusive. He broke my wrist, and when I would try to hug him or show any kind of affection, any type of affection. My new husband is very affectionate and loves physical touch. I am struggling remembering I am allowed to touch him. There are instances where my new husband does things out of genuine care, and I can't figure out how to know if it's not a head game. You need to go to therapy.
Yeah.
You need therapy. That's if you it is diagnosed narcissistic. You need therapy. There's a whole lot going on there that neither one of us are even remotely qualified to help you with. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Yep.
That is a lot.
Sent the ice cream tasting to the Death Star.
Alexa said, do you have any specific recommendations on getting through conflicts with your spouse when you are also experiencing an internal conflict? I'm diagnosed with CPTSD and ADHD, and I get triggered, specifically referring to feelings of rejection and abandonment. I shut down and I isolate and don't know how to get myself out of it. I'm in therapy, but I want to get better at being able to step outside of myself and be an active part of solving our conflicts constructively. Specific recommendations on getting through conflicts with your spouse when you are also experiencing an internal conflict. So are they. You think that you're the only one that's experiencing any type of emotion or frustration or hurt or trauma or triggers? That's why a conversation
is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
You pause. That just made me feel like blah, blah, blah. Can we talk about that for a minute? And you unpack it. You have a discussion about why you feel that way. And if they're feeling a certain way, hopefully they have that conversation too. You guys, I don't understand why people are so adamant about finishing a fight.
Right. Is that the end of your thought?
It's still going.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, you paused. There's a very long pause.
I didn't want to. My thoughts are still going.
Okay, go.
Go ahead.
I was going to change the conversation.
Go ahead. I'm good.
For you to say that I shut down and isolate, that's stonewalling. And that can be very detrimental to the relationship. I understand that can be a survival tactic or a survival coping mechanism that you have going on, but I would look into stonewalling and ways to avoid doing that. And also acknowledge that your internal conflict is not the real world. So what you're going through inside of you is your own little mini universe, like the core of the earth and then the actual earth where all of the living beings are and ecosystems are happening and all of that kind of stuff. Of course, if the core of the earth is not right, there's going to be chaos on the actual surface of the planet, which could be transferring into the relationship and why there could be conflict going on. But it's about prioritizing. Are you more important than what's going on in the conversation with your spouse or the person that you're with?
Well, if they're in fight or flight, that's exactly what's happening.
Right. and that's something to pause and think about. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also the reality is that if you know you're doing these things and you know this is a problem and you continue to do it, you're making a choice to continue to do it. You need to learn to pause. The moment you start to feel any type of abandonment, you can say, hey, I'm starting to feel that abandonment thing that I told you about. Are you leaving me? No? Okay, cool. I'm also feeling this. Is this a thing? No? Okay, cool. And then have the discussions. You guys don't have to start a fight and finish it all the way through. Like you can pause and have conversations in between what's going on to get to understanding what's happening in your relationship.
Doesn't even have to be a fight. It can just be a conversation.
Super chat from Alana. Have either of you looked into the Fireproof Your Marriage book? I ordered it yesterday, but I'm afraid I won't stick with it due to life distractions. Any advice? I have never even heard of it. But I also audiobook everything.
Yes.
I buy the books after I listen to it. Because if I like it, then I'll go through and highlight the shit that I want to come back and reference. But Kendra said, seek advice. I'm with a wonderful man who stews with his thoughts until his words are correct for the convo at hand. Silence is usually what holds the air until then. So you got somebody who's emotionally regulated. That's a great thing. I don't understand what the problem is. Are you wanting chaos? Do you want conflict and fighting, or do you want to have a conversation with the words precise so that they're not misspoken and everything is understood?
What you just described is normal.
Yeah.
When I am going through it and I am unable to verbalize, I told my husband the other day, I need to sit down and process what I'm going through because I don't want to say something and have it misconstrued or taken in a way that I'm not meaning it because I didn't think about what I'm about to say.
I'm emotional right now.
Right. And when I get emotional, I get stupid.
Yep. But there's no silent treatment happening. We still have our normal conversations. We're just not, joking.
I'm not 100%.
Right. Because you're having a bad day.
Right.
That's normal. But not like leaving the house and not saying goodbye or not saying where you're going or doing something that's completely out of character because you're angry
snappy.
Is a very different conversation, right?
Yeah. I think that what he's going through, the way that you described it, it sounds healthy. And he's doing it in a way that doesn't cause turmoil to the relationship. And it sounds like he's a man who cares about what he's going to say. We as human beings are very powerful beings. You know, if you're religious, we are made in the image of our Lord. And our Lord created all of this shit. So if we're made in his image, our words carry something with them, some type of weight. If you believe in paganism and magic, our words are spells. And everything that we say into the universe is a manifestation of something.
Yep.
So if you don't take the time to think about what you're saying and you're just willy-nilly blowing shit out there, you're creating potions and you have no idea what the cause and effect's going to be from it just because you're emotional in the moment.
Yep. Stephanie said, when my husband and I got together, he was very mature. However, after some time, he started becoming immature. What would be a healthy way to bring this up to him? He also has become very defensive when I bring up points of growth, which he wasn't that way in the beginning. PS, you two are amazing. Keep that shit up. So I'm going to challenge this, and you may not agree with this, but your husband was very mature, and now you get to see the inner child in him. And he gets to show you who he is at his core and gets to be fun and farting and all of the stupid, immature things that he does and probably offhanded comments because he's comfortable with you. And because you've shown him that you were a safe space, you would think that that would be a blessing. Now, if he's doing things like
slamming doors and
punching holes in the wall because there's an emotional dysregulation, that's a different conversation than being immature. What does his immaturity look like, and why is it a problem?
If he's making fart jokes and doing little pranks that aren't detrimental to your health or the relationship, like hiding one of your shoes and then laughing about it, you're like, oh, I got you.
Yeah,
that's a love language. That's being playful. That's poking fun.
Saw a TikTok, and I think I sent it to you, of a guy in a car with his girlfriend, and he put a Frappuccino milk on his mustache, and he's like, look, babe, I got a mustache. Ha ha ha. And she's like, you're so fucking immature.
Wow.
And like, he wiped it off, and he's like, you're right. And then every time she wanted to do something, he's like, cool. Oh, that's neat.
What she gets.
That's neat. And it was like multiple things. They were at a beach. Well, are you okay, baby? Yeah, I'm just looking at the sunset. Look at this new rock I found. Oh, that's a cool rock. Like it shut that shit down immediately within him. And it only takes once to know that we're not safe with our person to be who we are. And like, unfortunately, most men will go inside of that shell and fucking stay there. And they will never get that part of them out ever again because they know that their person is judging them for it.
They will die there.
Yep. Sending you love from Tijuana. I have learned so much from you guys. Question: can a man learn the skill of active listening? I'm asking because my partner seems to never really pay attention to what I ask or talk about. Example, yesterday I told him I was going to go out today, run errands, and the why to certain of them this morning. He asks me why I'm getting ready for that. Okay, so what was he doing when you told him what you were doing?
That's a very good point. That's what my mind went to.
Because if he's playing on the PlayStation, or he's on the computer scrolling social media, or he's at work, or he's playing on his phone, and you don't have his undivided attention, he's not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that you have just as much to be aware of in that situation. If I'm playing Magic on the computer while listening to music and I've got my phone in my hand and Peaches comes over and says something to me, I'm not going to get it. If she goes, babe, I need you to, this is important. You got me. Undivided attention because you told me it was important. That matters. But yes, we can learn active listening. You just have to work on it like everything else. It's a skill.
I think active listening and retaining information that doesn't apply to their life is two different things.
Yeah.
I can add something to our Google Calendar and give my husband a weekly notice of, hey, don't forget, 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, this is happening tomorrow. Babe, why are you getting dressed up today? We got that thing today, babe. Oh, yeah. And then we get excited about it all over again. It's like, it's just one of those things where, are you really going to get upset over the fact that he didn't remember you told him that one thing? Or are we going to focus on the really dope positive aspects of this man and recognize that he might not retain something if it doesn't directly impact what he has going on in his day-to-day life?
Right. I also don't see why that's a big deal.
I agree. It doesn't bother me to remind you of things.
I think that comes to one having grace.
Yeah.
like you said, if it doesn't directly impact their life, there's not really a reason to retain it.
Right.
A lot of us have so much going on in our day-to-day life that like we don't retain things that are not super important.
You didn't remember my children's names until
I had a reason
8 or 9 months into our relationship when this actually became a serious thing, because there was no reason for you to know. You haven't even met them at that point.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
So, and I didn't take that personally. That didn't bother me at all because we're focusing on us right now. Our relationship's not about the children at that point.
Right. Stephanie said, I have a hard time forgiving people. I've had a hard do me wrong one time, and I cut you out of my life. I have been told by more than one person I need to forgive more. You wrote, I don't dill, like the pickle, D-I-L-L, like
Deal?
the pickle. I don't deal with people being ugly to me or family. No lying, cheating, stealing. Don't hurt the people that are loved by me. Mama Bear comes out. How do I fix this in me? Or is this something I should not worry about? Forgiveness is for you. It's not for other people. Everybody's got this in their head that you need to forgive people and let them continue to be in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You forgive to let that shit go.
Yes.
I can forgive you from 10 miles away and you don't ever have to be around me again.
There's a difference between forgiveness and acceptance.
Right. There's also a difference in forgiveness and liking somebody. You did me dirty. Fuck you. I forgive you for what you did, but you can't be around me anymore because I know your character now. I see you for who you are. We are almost an hour in looking for super chats, and I think we should wrap up and go back to Patreon.
We have almost 300 people watching.
Yeah.
We have over 300 people watching.
Yep, 321 according to this. My object permanence is a thing with ADHD that doesn't only affect objects, people, and situations too. I will forgive, but I don't have to accept continued behavior.
Yep.
You don't have to accept shit. I know that everybody's got this thing where you have to love your family members because they're your family. Well, you can love them and not let them fucking walk on you.
Yes.
Like, you don't need people to be a doormat. Stephanie said it's exactly like that. The goofy, playful, immature way, and the way that you said it actually makes perfect sense. Thank you. Man's finally allowed to have his inner child out.
Yep. You feel safe enough to not be judged or shamed.
Yep. 321 taking steps. That's a good way to put that.
My necklace is from Amazon. This one, the turquoise. Amazon. Speaking of my necklace, I'm gonna do some shopping later today. Need to get new shoes, like you said.
Yep.
I can't be walking around looking like a light fairy wearing my biker boots.
No, you can't. No, you can't. I need a little advice on a friend that I have that expresses she has feelings for me, but only says it when she's drinking. It's the alcohol talking.
Yeah, when she's sober, she always says we're just friends, right? I would cut that chaos out of my life.
Or ask her outright.
Yeah, I'd be like, what is going on here?
Are you trying to be more than friends? Because if not, stop telling me that we're more than friends when you're drinking.
Right.
They're asking about your day collar. They come from Loved and Chained.
Yes.
If anybody would like to buy any jewelry from there, we have a coupon code. I reached out to the owner of the company. To Be Better will save you 10% on all of their jewelry. We don't get anything from that. It's not a kickback. It's just because so many people ask about her collar all the time.
Oh, golly.
What?
Buff Bell sent me a photo of her shoes.
Oh.
And they are the most tropical Costa Rica thing I've ever seen.
Are they cheetah print?
No, I don't know if you can see that from there.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yep. I love them.
Drunken words express sober thoughts. Not necessarily all the time. When it comes to flirtatious things like that, people become very loose-lipped and loving.
Yes.
The Love in Chained. Here.
I did that and she got defensive. She says she likes me and enjoys our time together, but she's not ready for a dating situation.
Then get rid of her.
Yeah, I would move on from that. She is very chaotic and she's very confused. It sounds like she has a lot going on in her life, and confusion leads to chaos. If she can't figure out what she wants and she starts bringing that into you, she's going to cause confusion and chaos within your life, and there's going to be a disruption that continues to play out. And
yeah,
yeah,
guys need to see people for who they are. And would you really want a relationship with somebody who gets drunk and then changes the way that she perceives the world? Because are you going to be able to trust her if she's going out to the bar with her friends while you're at home watching TV?
mm-hmm.
Or are you going to be able to trust girls' nights? Because the actions that she's shown you before you got together is going to continue because this is her character.
Right.
Yeah.
Daddy's angel said, why the hell not to me? I don't understand. Why the hell not what?
I don't know. They're saying that doesn't work right now. It doesn't work. Worked for me. Oops. Try that link for those of you who are trying to get in there. Joe said, my boyfriend and I closed the long distance gap, Florida to New York, in 44 days. Your podcasts have helped us grow from recognizing unhealthy past relationships to building a strong foundation. Thank you, Chris and Peaches.
I love it. I can't wait for you guys.
So the question is are you going to Florida or is he come? Are you going to New York? How's that working? Are you guys going to be in Florida? Are you going to be in New York? Are you going to be somewhere in between? That's the real question.
Mm-hmm. That's like the third or fourth time that.
This? Yeah, it's all right. They're driving the algorithm.
Okay.
Will your book have an audiobook as well? That was from Liz on Facebook. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I had an idea of what I wanted to do with my audiobook, and I still want to do the audiobook. I just don't know if or when or if it's going to happen. The idea of creating an audiobook where I have somebody read the book and then ask me questions about it and we pause and have a discussion is what I want to do. But that means somebody has to read the book, study it, prepare the questions, and then do all of that. And we've done a couple of live reads where she read it. Peaches read the book on our live stream for Patreon, and I paused you and we had discussions through it. And ironically enough, it drove book sales like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So we should probably do that on a regular live stream at some point too. Actually, I think we did on one and then Patreon for the other, but I don't know. I think that because the book is only 165 pages, I would have to do something to make it long enough to justify doing it.
Yeah.
Lemon said, Laminac, how would you approach a conversation about cutting off your mother due to blatant disrespect? I think I am ready to confront her about everything. I can tell you how I did it because I have done it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't associate with you anymore. Like, I can't do this. You're bringing way too much fucking disruption to my life. The way that you live your life is not something I'm okay with, and I'm just not willing to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. This isn't a fuck you. I don't hate you. I still love you. You're my mom, and I wish you the best. But I'm not willing to live like this.
Mm-hmm.
If if your mother's blatant disrespect is too much for you, you don't have. If you would not accept that from anyone else in your life, why would you accept it from your mother? Just because she gave birth to you doesn't mean that she gets to treat you like shit.
Yeah. The conversation I had pretty much boiled down to I don't feel emotionally safe with you, and there are boundaries being blurred and overstepping that is happening. And unless that's going to be corrected, there's no way forward for this relationship. I need to sit down and work on my book tonight. Don't let me fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah, okay.
I've been meaning to do it for the last week. I have notes in my phone. Like, I need to sit down on my laptop. I plugged in the charger. It's ready to go.
So somebody asked about the autographed copies being back in stock. I ordered the books. I'm going to check right now to see what I have for a shipping date or arrival date. It'll be here Tuesday of next week. It's not even shipped yet, but it says arriving Tuesday. So the signed copies will be back in stock next week, which means I'll probably reach out to Chris probably today or tomorrow and have him put them back on the website. I buy them 50 at a time, so they should be back on the site this week at some point, tobebetter.com. You want to wrap up?
We can.
Go take another 5-minute break and then go back to Patreon so that we can record some more content?
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all publicly again next Wednesday, unless we do a pop-up live at some point this week. May or may not happen. We don't know. But we will definitely be going live on Patreon in the next 10 minutes like we do every time we do a live. We go live again and then a live again. We have at least 2 more episodes recorded today. So if you want to get some live recording time where you can interact with us while we're recording, it's dope. That being said, we'll see you guys next time.
Or we'll see you guys on Patreon if you decide to jump over there.
Yep.
Bye, guys.